Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. And well, we're kind of just getting really close to spring here, and we love to push as far ahead as we can. We're here with Sherry Weavers. Nice to have you back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
From Three Little Birds Cleaning Service. And this is actually fun because people get that little itch to start kind of cleaning and going through things maybe that they haven't had a chance to go through in the winter, organizing, all those different things this time of year. But cleaning is key, right? So
Absolutely.
we want to talk a little bit about some of your great ideas that you have, and you generally like to go more on the natural side with your services, don't you?
Yep, absolutely. Completely natural is how we clean.
And that's the cool part about it is that you can be completely natural and still have a very full, clean, proper clean, disinfected clean without having to use toxic products.
Absolutely, very efficient, very effective.
Yeah, and last time you were on, we were making some of the homemade solutions and things that you can use at home, and again, just using simple products. So what are some of the natural ingredients you normally use?
Today, what I would recommend we're going to use for spring cleaning would be a strong degreaser. Basically, we're going to be getting into those areas that we normally don't get, on top of your cupboards, around your stove. We're going to be pulling out some appliances. The degreaser here, main ingredient here is going to be your vinegar.
Okay.
It's a disinfectant, it cuts through the grease, and for many who don't like the smell of vinegar, what I recommend is we make a citrus vinegar.
Okay, I like that idea. I was actually just cleaning my hardwood floors, and I was using vinegar and water, and I was like, oh, the smell is a little bit not so appealing, so
Absolutely.
This is a good idea.
All this is you take a jar, you're going to put your orange peels in there, lemon, lime, you can mix, you can add a little rosemary, you can get really creative with this if you like.
Okay.
This, they recommend that you let it sit for about 2 weeks. This is 3 days if you want to give that a smell.
Oh, that's much better.
Isn't that amazing? And this is, like I said, 2 days.
Yeah. So okay. So how many, versus the liquid itself? You're adding water.
For the degreaser that we're going to use?
Make it. Yeah.
Basically, what we're going to use is 2 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of your dish detergent.
Okay.
That would be your liquid dish detergent.
Yep.
In this case, we used 1 cup of vinegar. If you don't want to use the vinegar, you can actually use a hydrogen peroxide instead.
Okay.
Just definitely not both. And I would also recommend, if you're using straight vinegar, a couple drops of essential oil. In this case, we didn't need to because it already is orange scented.
That is your essential oil, essentially. Okay, very neat. Okay, so now you put it in a spray bottle, and I liked how last time you were here as well, we talked about marking off the tops of the bottles or the bottles in ways. That way it's familiar with your family. You have other color coding systems if you have kids cleaning and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
And that makes things a little bit easier as you're moving along.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, you were saying how this time of year we should be pulling things out and really getting to, a lot of times people, on a general basis are, they're cleaning the essential areas, and how often should you be doing this?
Spring cleaning is the time to tackle on those tasks that you don't get to on a regular basis. So possibly cleaning inside your fridge, cleaning inside your cupboards, pulling out maybe your sofas and getting those baseboards.
Yes,
yes,
the baseboards. That's one thing for sure. A lot of times people are just cleaning, again, the surface of the floor, and the baseboards, they do start to get a little grimy up and get right down there and get in there.
You know what trick that I do in my house? Honestly, when I'm cleaning, I give my kids the all-purpose, give them a spray, and I ask them to scoot around, and they do the baseboards while I can get everything else done.
That's what kids are for. It's really good child labor. It's actually good for them.
Make it fun. Tell them you'll take them to the movies when the task is done, and you get a lot of pride in it.
Well, and the thing is you're actually teaching them life lessons as well, right? Because, if we don't, children are just like little cave people when they're born. They really don't know anything. We have to teach them, right? So if you're introducing them to, thoughts, ideas that they've never been exposed to before.
Yeah.
So now when they get older, they will do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Another thing I was going to show you is a microfiber duster here. What I recommend you do when you're pulling out your furniture is that you're getting in behind, getting in and under, and it's a fantastic tool.
Yeah.
I like to choose this one here. Is $4 at Home Depot.
Cool.
Yeah, if you get it on a pole, it's fantastic. It's going to reach in and behind all your furniture.
Yeah.
Under your furniture.
Yeah.
Those top areas you can difficult reach. You can get some that are bendable, so they will get on top of your
Oh, that's awesome.
your ceiling fans.
Yeah, the fans and things like
the
that.
light fixtures. And then another task would be your windows.
Yes. Okay. So window sills and getting in. Are you getting to the point where pulling out screens? And
if you can pull out your screens, that's fantastic. What I recommend is pulling them all down, mark them with a little dry erase marker or a China pencil.
Yep.
Throw them in your tub. Let them all sit there. Someone can hose them all down. Then you go through. You can just use your degreaser
to
clean your window. And then you finish off with your glass cleaner.
Okay.
And again, you're going to find some vinegar in there as well. Another thing we like to recommend is Q-tips for getting in the grooves.
Yes.
And you do
especially getting in those little corners of the window seals and things like that, right?
Absolutely.
It's easy to do the quick wipe around and then miss those corners, and that accumulates and starts to get.
And then again, doing your windows, you're going to have them open. You know, let the fresh air come through.
Yeah. It's all that stuff that we're not, you know, we're so used to being closed in for months and months and months, right? And just to get that feeling, as you say, of that thorough cleanse, and when you walk in your house and it smells good and it smells clean.
Absolutely.
That's key, right? I know, so with your cleaning services, obviously, you know, people can hire you guys to come in and clean their house and do a thorough spring cleaning as well for you, if you feel like not doing any of this yourself. Just
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so tell me about your service a little bit and how that works for people.
Basically what we do is we have you call the office and we'll have someone come out to your home and then we'll do a walkthrough. So they're going to look at the way you live in your home, the number of rooms you're wanting cleaned, how many pets you have in your home,
pets
your
are key,
priority
right?
areas, and we're going to come up with a price to clean your home.
Okay.
And we usually try to work with the clients to make sure that they're getting all their needs met and we're coming in their budget.
And frequency as well, right? So you could have people come in weekly or bi-weekly or...
Absolutely. We find our services are quite detailed, so less frequently is actually something that is an option for a lot of people. Where you normally have us coming in once a week, bi-weekly works just great because we're getting all that dust. We're getting all the stuff that you can't see, so it's not coming out as soon as we leave.
And I'm sure you guys have a bit of a system as well with what, you know, when you're cleaning 1 week or every 2 weeks, how your approach and how you do it. You guys have a system as well in place with what you've cleaned prior to and next time around.
Absolutely. You're not going to need under your couch cushions necessarily cleaned every single time,
right.
but it's a task that you would like to have rotated with another task in your home.
And that's the thing, a lot of times, I guess this would probably be good for people who have, you know, the California, the wooden shutters and that, and stuff like that. That a lot of times you don't need to do that every time you clean.
Absolutely. And not only that, the first time you go in, we find they do need to be cleaned quite thoroughly. Once they're cleaned thoroughly.
Because people haven't been doing it.
Exactly. Once you go in there, then a quick dust is all they're going to need on a regular basis.
Okay, let's go back to the fridge, because the fridge is definitely one, and that's also a problem in a lot of workplaces as well, where the fridge is just gets really, really scary. So you should be pulling everything out.
Depends on a lot of times how you're living in your home. If my home, when you have a lot of pets, you're going to get a lot under and behind your fridge.
Yes. Okay, so pull the fridge out, pull everything out from the inside, do an inside-outside.
Absolutely. Tip with the fridge. You go from the inside out, top of your fridge to the bottom. That way you're not cleaning, you're not dirtying something that's already been cleaned.
Oh my goodness. See, there's lots of things to think about, but again, you don't have to do it all the time, so cleaning doesn't have to be that daunting of an experience. Try to do it as naturally as possible with some of these great ideas, and it makes it better for everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on the show, and again, if you don't feel like cleaning at all, 3 little birds will do it for you. We'll be back with more Terra at Home. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning, welcome back to Terra at Home, and we're on the upper level here of Long McQuade, which is located, we're at the location of many in Burlington here on Mainway, and I'm here with Melinda, and we're talking about obviously the love of music and for young and old, and well, thank you for allowing us into your space to begin with. But,
thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're talking, Long McQuade has locations all across Canada, and helping people still just live the love of music.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
We love to foster that love of music from a young age. We start lessons here at age of 4. with group lessons or individual lessons, 4-year-olds have this inherent joy of music and
Yes, they
singing
do,
and
don't they?
dancing. Exactly. So we foster that at a young age.
Yes.
It carries through into their life in many ways.
And that's the funny part when you do see that with children really small, from babies even, that just this interest of music that a lot of times parents will just give to them. And it's even parents that aren't interested in music themselves, for some reason will always give it to children. And then if we don't grab it when they're kids, a lot of times they just lose that, right, and let it go.
Right.
So this is the time, is to introduce it to them.
Right.
I was mentioning to you that my son just loves music. It's definitely in our family for sure, with my brother and just that I think that whole British-Irish background. But you know, it's really interesting. How does a parent know? You know, you're saying 4 years old. Obviously, you know, you have to take a moment sometimes and judge what you think your child. Some 4-year-olds are not maybe quite ready if
Right.
they can't stay still or they can't. You know,
Yes.
some of them are a little crazy.
Yeah.
But how do you know where to start with a child with music? You know, some just naturally will go to an instrument.
Yes,
But
yeah.
which instrument's best to start, or is there one?
Oh, you know, we always say the best instrument to start with is the one that the child most wants to play. If a child has his heart set on violin and loves the sound of a violin, wants to play, and then you insist they start with piano, then it becomes more of a chore.
Sure.
And we really want to make it fun and foster that love of music. So violin is a great music a place to start.
Yes.
For young children. Piano, drums, and guitar even for some little ones. Though we encourage very young children to start with a group lesson. A one-on-one lesson for a half an hour can be very long for a 4-year-old. So it just depends on the child.
Sure.
A group lesson can go for an hour when you have 5 kids together. They're playing, they're singing, they're dancing, they're doing rhythm exercises.
That's
and
neat.
it really keeps them interested. And then an
Yes.
hour doesn't seem long at all. So it really does depend on the
Actually, I
child.
like that idea, you know, because I was considering when I put my son in piano, I wasn't sure. It just seemed like I wasn't sure he would be able to sit on a bench and listen to a teacher and focus for, as you say, for half an hour. But a group environment, kids really do feed off of that.
Yes.
And as you said, the time will go by, and they're learning and developing when they don't even realize.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, and they're developing those skills that are important later in life as well. Young children who learn music develop organizational skills, and without even noticing it, because they get on a practice schedule. They're setting aside time every day. It's goal setting, it's preparation. They feel good about themselves because they've learned new things and
Yes.
they've reached their goals, and they're having fun the whole time. So all of those very important foundations are there with pattern recognition and that self-esteem right from the get-go. And
So-
it doesn't feel like work,
And
right?
exactly that.
Yeah.
And again, as we know, when your kids are involved in something, it keeps them out of other things,
Sure,
right?
yes.
As they start to get older, right? When
Yes.
they become preteens and teens, they still have something to go to.
Right.
And a lot of times they thank their parents so much. Thank
Yes.
you for putting this, you know, putting me in music when I was a kid, because now I have this. Now I can
Yes.
start a band. Now I can, you know, because a lot of kids are putting bands together and they have a great old time, and some find great success with that, right?
Exactly. And our Rock School program is a testament to that. Exactly. It's that tender age, you know, 10 and up. Teenagers need an outlet, and they need
Yes.
something to join them together with other kids so they can relate and they can have fun. Our Rock School program's been really successful, especially with that age group. They have such a good time, and actually.
So they put them together as a group?
Yes, absolutely, as a group, and they're playing, you know, classic rock, really, and,
Yes.
and some heavy stuff, and the kids pick the songs, and they have a really good time. Our during March break, we run quite a few group lessons, and this March break, we're running a VIP rock school. So it's all our old students that have taken the class several times, so they're you know, more seasoned players,
Sure.
and they do an off-site concert. So they have a week to prepare. These kids get together. Some of them know each other, some of them don't. Put together a concert and then play at an off-site location, like a restaurant or like a public place, and they
That
do
is
a
great.
concert, and it's incredible. It's an
Very, very
incredible
good.
achievement, and we're so proud of them.
That's so great, and that's the thing when parents are looking for something for kids to do, whether it's, you know, March break camps or summer camps. It's again, why not put them in something directly of their interest?
Yes,
right. They're only going to.
absolutely.
A lot of times, kids are like, hooked up into camps that they don't want to go to in the summertime. They're like, I just want to stay home because they have to. The parents are like, you got to go. But this is going to be something, if you're interested in music, what a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great concept. So the whole group idea also carries through into the adult world as well. Of course, adults starting music can come here and be part of a group as well.
Yes, absolutely. We run a string ensemble and Long McQuade Club, which actually we started for teenagers, and we've had quite a few adults that are interested in singing and learning harmonies and performing. It's that performance element where they get an opportunity to show what they've learned and to be proud of themselves, and really, you know, again, with the goal setting and practicing, it gives them that final performance to really shine, you know.
Well,
those are unforgettable moments.
Yeah, it really is, because when it comes to musicians, there is something about, I think, any type of art like that, you know, as a dancer as well, you love to perform. You love that moment of taking what you know and showing it off to people. There's something about that. I think it's the interaction. It's not necessarily a show off, but it's an interaction with people and someone appreciating what you know.
Yes, the appreciation for sure. And I think it's that, as a performer, I can tell you, it's that combination of terrifying stage anxiety.
Yes, it gets through your blood, right?
Yes, and pushing through that and feeling prepared and feeling confident and knowing that you have you've worked so hard for this, and then having that appreciation, the follow through, and the release of all that anxiety. And every time you get on stage, it's character building.
It gets better and
and
better
it's
and
confidence building. Yeah, and it gets easier and easier, and actually pushes you to become a better musician as well.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah.
So if someone was to register, say out of the blue, maybe they haven't played that guitar since they were 15, and they want to try it again, and they're now 45. However old you are, how would someone go about doing that?
You know, we have a lot of adult students here. I think our oldest student right now is 92.
So cool.
And she's taking piano lessons. She's actually a very accomplished jazz singer, and she'll know who she is when she watches this. But she's our eldest, absolutely wonderful, lovely student. So whatever age you are, 4 or 92, you can pick up an instrument and learn it, as long as you're dedicated.
Yes.
Our adult students who show up here, they're coming after work every week, and they are dedicated to playing that instrument. So it's not just kids who can pick it up.
Yeah.
You can definitely.
So anyone can do it. And this is a good outlet for you too. When all the other stressors in life, you come here and have a creative moment and a moment to yourself.
Exactly.
It's very good for all of us.
And you develop a relationship with your teacher too. And it's
well,
like,
thank you, Melinda. So much to learn. And again, this is Long McQuade, and of course, locations all over the place, but definitely a good something good to make you feel good and confident about your life. Thank
Absolutely.
you. All right, more
Thank
TERRA
you.
at Home after this.
TERRA, where color lives.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're in our TERRA kitchen here with Chef Iain, and today we are making a Moroccan-style dish, right?
A Moroccan-influenced style dish.
Style dish. Okay, so using chicken and all kinds of yummy ingredients. Where do we start?
We're going to start with making a couscous. Very easy to make. Couscous is a pasta. Who would have known?
Not a grain.
Not
we just
a
had
grain.
this conversation before.
Lengthy conversation before the segment started. Is it a grain? Is it a pasta?
Because you were eating it raw, and I said, "What are you doing?" And
really,
you were just being silly.
I didn't think that we were going to bring that to air, but thank you.
Of course we would.
So, really, really easy to make as far as the couscous goes. Into a bowl, and I'm going to put some of the ingredients in. That was a cup of my dried couscous. I've got some dried currants I'm going to add to it. So when the hot water hits them, they're just going to
And that's one thing you'll see a lot in Moroccan-inspired dishes is they do like to have their dried fruit
Yeah.
in with it, so it almost has a bit of a sweetness to it in the end.
That's right, that's right. So I'm gonna add a little bit of apricot, ones that I didn't eat before segment. I'm going to keep these few ingredients off to the side. I still want to keep some of the crunch. So I've got some slivered almonds, I've got some wonderful salty olives,
Okay.
and some mint that I'm gonna add to it.
Okay.
As far as my spices, I'm gonna add just a little pinch or two of some cinnamon and some cumin.
Okay.
An easiest dish to make. So for every cup, it's 1 1/4 cups of boiling water. And truly, as long as it doesn't spit up on me, there you go. And I'm just gonna give it a gentle stir. I'm sorry the
seems
plastic
really easy.
doesn't look all that appealing, but ultimately, I'm just
easy.
gonna let it cook in its own steam.
That's great.
So the couscous is going to absorb all the water. All the dried fruit are just going to pull in all the water and reconstitute, make a wonderful dish. I'm just going to put this off to the side,
Okay.
if that's okay. It's just going to continue to cook. And we're going to start with our chicken now. So,
Well, this is interesting because there is this apparat that's called a tagine, right? And it's sort of almost looks like a bit like a tent style ceramic type of pottery thing, right? That people cook in. But you can make it in there like that, so you don't have to go buy another dish.
there you go.
Way easier.
Fantastic. Didn't think of it that
Cost-effective.
way.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring my pan nice and hot. A little bit of some olive oil.
Okay.
What I've done is I've used some chicken thighs. It's one of my favorite cuts of meat. It's the dark meat. I've kept the bone in. I think it's far more flavorful than chicken breast, the white meat. I mean, it has its
Yeah, okay,
place,
I understand. I
but
get that.
chicken thighs, like really a nice flavorful
Yep.
cut.
For a dish like this, it would work very well.
Yep. A little bit of lemon. I've added some ginger just because I had it at the time. A little salt and a little pepper.
Okay.
Ultimately, the thing I want to keep in mind is skin side down once I got my pan really, really hot because I want to start to caramelize. And I don't think I've got it as hot as I'd like. But what we'll do is we're going to get that wonderful sear, that wonderful color. And then what we'll do is we'll turn it over and we'll finish it off in the oven.
Okay.
So I say about 350, 375 until it's finished. Probably about 15 or 20 minutes from then.
That's pretty straightforward. That's
Pretty
good.
straightforward.
In the meantime, this is doing its thing. How long did you say we're having the couscous sit?
Ultimately, just until it's finished. I'm sorry
Okay,
to say,
just
you're
absorbs.
probably looking at about 10 or so minutes.
Okay.
It just absorbs the water. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add our other ingredients. If
Okay.
I added in my mint in now and added the hot water, the mint tends to turn black and it's not very appealing. And like I said, I wanted to keep the crunch of our almonds and I wanted to keep that sort of, I still wanted the texture of the olives
Right.
as well.
Okay. Okay. And these are toasted almonds too, right?
Toasted
So
almonds, yep. A little
bit more
fry
flavor.
pan, a little bit of canola oil,
Okay.
and toasted them up.
Okay.
So we're starting to get some of the color, and again, I need to be patient. You know, you really do need to leave your dish alone.
Now, if you were to take the chicken and not fry it in the pan at all, just put it into the oven directly,
Oh, absolutely.
what are you achieving a little bit more of a crisp on it by doing it this way, or can you get that from the oven just equally?
I find like I'm trying to achieve like a nice crispy skin.
Right.
So yes, I'm doing it in the fry
Okay.
pan as opposed to the oven. You can still do it. Ultimately, if you put chicken in the oven, you start at a higher temperature maybe. You know, slather it with a little bit of olive oil
Right.
or butter, and again, it's going to have the same sort of process.
Okay, just because for some people who shy away from frying, right? Some people get so worried
People
about
that don't like flavor and tasty things to eat, yes, I can understand that.
People who are worried about their health and
People
diet.
are worried.
and dietary
Exactly.
concerns.
It's all good.
This is where you and I have a little bit of a showdown here,
I-
don't we? I like to bring in the healthy alternatives, and you're like,
Shoot
I'm
them
the
down
chef.
every time.
Full fat,
All
full
about
flavor,
flavor.
Leslie.
Exactly. We're starting to get some really, really nice color on our chicken.
Like to bug you. It's good.
I see that. I see that.
It does look good. It smells great.
Wonderful aromas coming out, and you get that smell of the ginger. like I said.
Okay, so with something like this, afterwards, obviously, you know, once we go to break, we come back and we put this all together. There are no other sauces associated with this, right? Because it's more just about topping it all off, and you've already got all the textures and everything you need.
You've got a lot of textures. You got a great flavor base. You'll notice again, our couscous is pretty much absorbed most, if not all, the water. And ultimately, when the time comes, you just take a fork and you fluff it up.
Okay, so it's even though it is a pasta, it sort of acts a little bit like a rice, right? Almost with that absorbing the water type of thing, right?
Yes, I suppose there are similarities
See?
with couscous. Yes,
Even
a
though
grain as opposed
We're just
to
going
it
to have
being
this
a
fight
pasta.
back and forth about grain versus pasta.
We'll continue on, no doubt.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll let that cook up a little bit longer. We'll put it in the oven for a little while. So how long do you say the oven?
Probably 375, 15, 20 minutes, just
Okay.
till it's finished. Make sure the juice is running clear.
Okay, do that. We'll come back. We'll put it all together, make it all look pretty for you, and we won't talk about the fat content. I'm just kidding. We'll be right back with more here at TERRA Home.
Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We have some really good smells in the kitchen right now. Chicken has been completed all the way through.
Chicken
We're
is
good?
finished out
Yes.
of the oven. Yeah.
Okay, so again, we fried it for a little while, put it in the oven for about 15 minutes
15,
or so.
20 minutes, just until it's finished. Absolutely.
Nice and
We
crispy.
started off with the couscous. We've added some apricots, some currants. We added a little cinnamon and a little cumin. A Moroccan influence type dish.
It smells so good with those spices,
Yeah.
and we were actually excited about the fact that literally, as you were saying, it absorbed all the water. So look at that, and it cooked so quickly. We're all really excited. This is a really very, very easy dish to
Yep,
make.
it's a very simple dish to make.
Okay.
For a cup of couscous, it's a 1 1/4 cups of boiling water. Like I said, and we just put some plastic wrap over the top.
Easy.
Just to
Okay.
let it seal in. So we're going to add the last of our ingredients anyways. We've got some mint that we're going to add to it. Our toasted almonds. Okay. And we have some olives.
Really
So some-
interesting flavor profiles going on there, right? Because again, a lot of sweet in this dish, but
Yep.
and some spices, and then now you have olives and mint and
Yeah. So the thing is just to lightly fork it through. And then we can just...
Just a reminder again, of course, you can find all of these recipes on our website at terragreenhouses.com, and you can give this dish a try even tonight. It's really straightforward and actually generally quite healthy, other than frying the chicken part.
Other than frying
But
the
you
chicken
could bake
part.
it in the oven.
Yeah,
That's easy.
You find the couscous
healthy.
in the international aisle in your
Yes.
local supermarket. Just because you've said the healthy thing, I'm adding just a little bit of olive oil
Well, that's okay. That's
to
good
the
for you.
couscous. It's good for you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Very
There you
good.
go.
And that's actually a really nice dish, and I actually think you could get some kids to eat this too.
Yeah,
I think you really could.
Absolutely. Again, if you're stuck, you've had potatoes on the dish already this week, you've had rice on the dish already this week, try something new. Maybe it's the step to quinoa or it's the step to millet. Some wonderful flavors. And again, it's a blank slate. You can really do a lot with couscous. If you wanted to do a Greek style, you can do feta cheese
Sure,
maybe on
I've
top
had
with
that.
some
That's
olives
good.
and some red onions or red peppers. So I'm just going to make like a little family dish here.
Okay. And
Finish this off really, really quickly.
Lovely. Look at that. That is a perfect dish for everybody to give a try. And again, in these cold winter months, this will warm you up. Thank you, Chef Iain. How
Thank you so
beautiful is
much.
that? Have yourself a great weekend.